maybe some light arson. We want to put some fear in the board, right? Get him scared of us. Board don't know the meaning of the word respect. The only language they understand is exploitation. You just got an audience with Sophia Conde. That's the adjutant to the chairman? You sure we should be trusting her? Working for the board always costs more than it pays. No job's worth your principles. It was? No one's told me that before. I mean, yeah, absolutely. Think about it. I know we're freelancers and all, we take work where we can find it, but we gotta be vigilant, you know? This is how the board gets you. A job here, an errand there. Before you know it, you're calling him sir and ma'am. I appreciate your time. Let's get back to it.
Hey, Yelly, you wanna know what I think? I think they ought to make a serial about our crew. Only, we have all these secret messages in every episode, see?
What happened to the Code of Silence, Felix?
Hey, why do you always do that thing with your eyes whenever I talk to you? You on the alert, maybe? Looking out for hidden enemies?
Let's just say you remind me of someone.
I bet they were real pretty.
Wouldn't it be something to see an Earth?
Anti-Creo's ketchup. Organic, vegan, handmade, gluten-free, dairy-free, nut-free.
I guess we're going to Fallbrook.
Anti-Creo's energizing ointment. Enjoy 6 cups worth of concentrated caffeine in every dollar.
That episode from a few weeks ago.
Come to do your part. What?
Didn't I request No more fertilizer shipments be brought on board? Who keeps ordering these? Captain, an unusual wavelength is coming through Monarch's aether wave frequencies.
The eternal is in us all. The OSI would have you believe that your place in society, indeed in the universe, is preordained. A man who works in the mines of Hephaestus, coating his lungs in mercury dust for not but a few bits a night. This fate is set in stone? When he dies young, coughing up black blood, his part in the grand plan? No, I say. Greatness is in everyone, not just those so fortunate as to have been born into prosperity.
That was unexpected and odd. I am inclined to agree with your assessment, by which I mean I think I'll initiate an unscheduled rest cycle while you're out.
Don't think I've seen you around. That means you must be new to Stellar Bay. You are new here, right? You must have seen those UDL gunships on your way in. There's only 3 of them these days. Still, they tend to scare folk off. You may not have heard, you being new, but Stellar Bay hardly ever gets off-world traffic, us being cut off by the board and all. Which means I never get to do this part, but I've been practicing, so here goes. On behalf of Monarch Stellar Industries, welcome to Stellar Bay, home of the freshest sal tuna in Halcyon. Please state your name for the records. Swell. There's one for the logs. I'm even gonna give you your own entry code. I'm not supposed to do that. It's against procedure, but Mr. Sanjar isn't so strict about the rules here. Besides, I got a lot of empty entries to fill. Oh, that'll just make Mr. Sanjar's day if you tell him. The board makes up lots of nasty stories about raptidons and cannibals and whatnot. But that's all outside our walls. Mostly.
Did he just say raptidons and cannibals? I can't wait.
We don't get ship traffic in town. Only off-worlders who do make it out here are Sublight. They got a base in Fallbrook. And thank the stars for them, or we would have run out of Rizzo's Purple Berry Crunch years ago. Oh, sure. It makes Stellar Bay sound like a rotten place, but it's not so bad. Get a good breeze going, and the sulfur smell mostly covers up the fishy smell.
Ah, the nostalgic stench of home. Can't say I miss the day-to-day of living in Edgewater.
Anyway, Mr. Sanjar's got lots to say on that subject. Kinda goes over my head, though. Mr. Sanjar will be mighty pleased to meet you. If you see him over at headquarters, maybe you could tell him I did a bang-up job of welcoming you? Oh, and if you're headed that way, maybe you could do me a favor? I got this Rizzo's Rangers Tossball poster coming in on the next Sublight shipment, signed by the Black Hole himself. Only I haven't heard anything in a while. You think you could check with Celia to see if it's come in? I couldn't really say, I'm just a fan of the game. But the fancy collector types say the more people see these things, the less valuable they are. And I figure my poster's been passed around by more than a few people by now. Thanks a bunch. Celia works for Mr. Sanjar in the MSI building next to the bar. She's always there, so you can't miss her.
Wrapped mask and painted eyes, right here.
Please, will someone help me? My boy's in trouble.
Well, well. Isn't often we see new folk in Stellar Bay. First drink's on me, stranger. Enjoy. If you plan on sitting through Nyoka's stories, you might could use a few.
I could use a few in telling them myself.
Now what can I do for you? Thought it had a fancy ring to it. Name's the first advertising anyone sees, after all. Nope, but a man can dream. Anyone who spends any amount of time in this bar is bound to get to know Nyoka, on account of her being here so often herself. And I don't mean that unkindly. Anyone who's rid us of as many beasts as you have is entitled to a few drinks. Something else I can do for you? Not since Amber Heights. These days we have more leaving than coming. Off to join the Iconoclasts or some such. Bunch of marauders broke into the executive compound, slaughtered everyone. Corporations pulled out of Monarch not long after. I thought everyone knew. But then that was 10 years ago. Still feels fresh to us every time we look at our walls, though.
little bastard's slippery, right? On account of its blood, so it's sliding. All over the place, trying to crawl away. Getting so I can't tell the blood from the mud. Don't interrupt, it's rude. But I gotta get in there, get right in that baby rap's stomach and dig it out. If so much as a drop of stomach acid got on that medallion, shit, I don't know what I'd do. Might be I'd hunt every damn rapt out there. Right. What are you staring? Wait. You ain't from around here. Who are you? Ooh, charmer. Don't get a lot of that around here. Folks mostly grump at me about how I should join the MSI payroll. Nice change of pace. Buy me a drink, will you? Outstanding! What are you doing in Stellar Bay, stranger? Well. Let's get down to brass nuts then, shall we? Wait, that ain't it. Brass rats? Let's talk business. I'm headed back out there after I sober up. You want a guide sooner than that? You have to get me something to clear my head. Outstanding! Our dispensary here maintains a stock of, well, I don't rightly know what they are. Steroid or caffeine somethings? Pills. They're very good. I'm cut off for the month, on account of needing one just about every damn day. But I'm sure you've got your wily ways. Fetch me one and we'll be all set. Well, they work. We got a deal or what?
What are the chances of all the times and places we could have been born?
Oh, thank you for stopping. Everyone acts like nothing's wrong, like my little boy isn't at risk of being eaten by some vile creature. Please, you have to help me get my little Tucker back. He ran away and is going to get himself killed. Oh, I just know a raptidon is melting him with acid as we speak.
It's more dissolving than melting.
That is not helpful. Don't you tell me to calm down. He ran out into the wilderness a few days ago. I warned him about... Please, won't you go and find my boy? Well, I guess I can't ask you. I've got some bits saved up for a rainy day. I'll give you... He's been pining for an adventure. I warned him. A raptidon would snap him up first chance. He should have listened to his mama. I promised I'd keep him safe. He's been listening to those awful broadcasts that the iconoclasts put out. I begged Sanjar to put a stop to them, but did he? No! And now I just know my boys run off to Amber Heights. Those low-life degenerates, leading innocent boys into a life of danger. Oh, they make... How noble is it to worry? If they weren't holed up in Amber Heights, I'd knock them all upside the head. That old settlement, southwest of Stellar Bay. I don't know which is worse, or that he never made it. Sprats, or maybe... Thank you. Oh, You look for him in Amber Heights, you hear? It's down the road southwest of town. I'm sure he made it that far. I just know it. And if you find...
Reminds me of the crew cabin on one of my first ships.
The trick is not to breathe through your nose.
A man of the claw.
I got another fighting me. asshole!
Hit! You're hurt, Captain! Captain, no!
You scared?
Hold on to your hats, children. This ride is about to get ugly.
That's the last of them. I have your back.
Gonna find you!
Here they come. Down they go.
Down they go.
I got another fight in me.
I'm just saying, if we did need to dispose of a body, this would be a good spot for it. Here they come!
Who's ready for more?
You threw off the constraints of proper society and abandoned a life of luxury to live as an outlaw.
Trouble checking in? Or you might need directions to the amenities? If you're locked out of your cabin, a replacement key costs 50 bits. Guess it's true. Fallbrook really is the best-kept secret in all of Monarch, excepting the Borst Factory's secret ingredient. We're a leisurely stopover for the more adventurous spacefaring traveler. Understand? Swell. We like quick-on-the-draw types like you. Saloon is straight back and to the right. Ms. Malin can let you one if you're interested. She's the one who runs this racket. I am here to... You're looking for Ms. Malin. On an errand for the boss lady? That sounds ominous. Yeah. Ms. Malin won't like that a whit. She's not but just down the way. A 10-to-1 says she's either pouring drinks or skinning a sprat in the saloon. Word to the wise, Ms. Malin don't take kindly to interlopers. When I said sprat, I didn't mean the sort with whiskers and a tail. No reservation, no problem. Check in with Ms. Malin.
Keep your wits about you. This is sublight territory.
Drinking, gambling, and organized crime. Everything you need to keep civilization running.
Take a gander at that mug. I ain't ever seen someone so adept-looking my whole life.
He means gullible, Captain.
Oh, now, come on. All I mean is, well, rather that, you don't seem like the usual pigeons we pluck. No offense, of course, if you are a Byzantium goldblood. Say, I'd like to do you a favor. Might I interest you in a surefire scheme? Wink, wink. It's no flattery when it's true. Pure and simple, it's like this. I run our drug delivery service. Recently, I had the genius idea to cut costs in half by swapping our autoloaders with faster, cheaper sprats. See? I know a fellow genius when I clap eyes on him. Too right you are. As I was saying, you look more capable. In return, I'll cut you 5% of the profit. Th 35%? Are you out of your gourd? If I wasn't recovering from a bout of Margellans, I wouldn't stand for this. But things are what they are, so I'll agree to it. But not 0.5% more. My sprat carriers scurry back and forth through the shipping tunnels. Any trail ought to start there. When you've got the goods, I'll be here.
My bet's on citation in the autoloader.
Ain't in the mood to chat.
Want to make a run with me to Stella Bay? Boss lady told me to take the night off.
No, I'm beat. Just got back from delivering to that house with the strange family. Yep, oddest thing. They started ordering cans of Borstwurst, but only if they come from the C&P factory.
Makes you wonder what the secret ingredient is.
Reginald's stuff, all right, but it looks like he's not home. Let's search the room. Try to figure out where he's gone. Sounds like Cheney's gone gold painting down on the river. Guess even scholars need to find ways to make ends meet in exile.
I test every product myself to assure maximum customer satisfaction. If you doubt it, I can no rubbernecking. Make a buy or move on.
No refunds, no exchanges. If you bloody it, you buy it. Yeah, and? Do I look... But now that you mention it, I reckon she had her reasons to hide us. We got smugglers, outlaws, mavericks. They're so self-important the way they strut around, preening and flashing their price. Town sublight owned and run. Caters to a variety of clientele. The one you want to avoid pissing off the most is Catherine. Proves bad for her.
Oh, I beg your pardon. Can you not see I'm walking here? Physically, you mean? In my mind, I have traveled galaxies. Well, it is of no consequence, I assure you. I shall embark shortly with my legs. I'm not entirely decided. If I'm being honest, I think I'd fancy a visit to Tartarus, so long as it's under the shield of my fantastical imagination.
This looks like the place. You ready to get my money or what?
Welcome to the offices of the Greater Halcyon Insurance Group.
Halcyon's premier provider of life and disaster-related insurance. I'm obligated to inform you that our coverage does not extend to incidents deemed to result from negligence, criminal activity, or dullness of mind. Some people, but no one in this office, I assure you, might call it stupidity.
Obviously too common an ailment for insurance to cover.
So, what kind of insurance package can I interest you in? We're running a special on dismemberment policies. Buy one, get one half off. We're not on Monarch. For all practical and tax-related purposes, this office is an official enclave of Byzantium. Legally speaking, so we can... What's the... Oh, it's certainly not a... I remember that one. That's the young socialite who broke her neck, right?
Of course no one remembers me for the marauders I've killed or the bits I've stolen. Typical.
That claim was airtight. Our best investigators couldn't find an exclusion for that one.
Are you serious?
Well, we interviewed the parents extensively.
Hey, those are entirely made up.
Furthermore, the claim spurred a whole line of... You can't, of course. Only Miss Fenhill can assign her beneficiaries. And she's dead. If we let every friend, relative, and acquaintance change a policy like that, people would do it all the time. Imagine the paperwork. Of course she is. The paperwork says so.
I like to think she's dead in spirit, but technically, legally, and regretfully, I'm still Marilyn Fenhill.
That's impossible. By all accounts, she was an elegant and classy woman with impossibly fine bone structure. That couldn't possibly be you.
That's gotta be the nicest thing anyone's said to me in a long while.
Oh, you mean hypothetically? Well, hypothetically, you'd access the terminal in the back room that contains data on all our policies. And you'd, theoretically, add the beneficiary of your choice. But you wouldn't actually do that, of course. That would be fraud. Please, my policy only covers paper cuts and wrist strain. Very well, I'll do it. But then you've got to go. Confrontations like this will raise my premiums. I'll need the name of the new beneficiary.
Ellie Fenhill?
If you say so. The payouts will flow exclusively into the new account at the start of the month. I hope Ms. Fenhill enjoys her newfound prosperity. Plenty. We've insured on... Usually character actors. Those are mostly for top-rungers and... There's one... We try to cover every... One thing's for...
We gotta talk.
You really did it. Give these payouts a few years and I'll be rolling in it. I've never been prouder to stand back and watch someone else work. I'm just glad my folks aren't gonna live off that awful story they made up. Maybe now they'll have to go back to real jobs. Come on, I thought we were celebrating. You want me to think about the future? Maybe you haven't noticed, but you can't even count on a bribe making it into the right pocket. What's the point of planning for anything around here? Hate to say it, but Halcyon's already there. Anyway, enough of that. You did a job for me, so here's your fee. Could have fooled me with all your tough talk. What's gotten into you? You sure? Because my kind of friends will pick your pocket clean while they're getting hammered with you. Yeah, I'm not trying to get all mushy or anything. Still, maybe you've got a point. Maybe it's good to watch someone's back now and then so that one day, they watch yours. So, you just keep the money. One of us has to look out for your interests. It's nothing personal. It's... Anyway, enough of the touchy-feelies, huh?
You don't look like a smuggler nor a dandy. Catherine sent you back here? On second thought, it's best if I don't know. What's your order? No, I don't have any... Ugh. If it's only a drink you're after, the full bar's upstairs. This here's the ante up, where you place your bets. Tossball, autoloader races, card games, you name it. I ain't picky. And neither is Catherine. We'll both break your legs if you lose, then shirk on paying.
Always imagined Fallbrook would be...
cleaner, fancier, stocked with better booze.
Can I help you? Don't think we've spoken before. I would remember. You look, well, I wouldn't forget what you're wearing, no. Most of the freshies spend their first day in the saloon. Fresh to Fallbrook. I'm real friendly. Figure I've talked up... Every day I've been here has been my lucky day. Aside from a close call during my wilderness hike, it's been a grand... You heard that right. Wilderness almost got me pushing up daisies. If I wasn't so fleet-footed, I never would have escaped them. To outrun them, I had to ditch my bag. All the bit cards from my winnings were weighing it down. Look for the horns and you can't miss it. Even I saw them when we flew overhead. Massive curved stone peaks if you want to get technical. They're part of the mountain terrain. Well, Captain Crowley wanted to take... It's my first... you wouldn't have heard of them. They're just a small... So they hired on a merc. Captain Crowley, he does ask me to shut it sometimes. Captain warned us to take care around Devil's Peak. The bigger beasties tend to roam the slopes there. Mid-morning, I thought I'd try Fallbrook's stealth. Scarcely made it back. Right then. Very well. Then I'd... Right then. Very well.
I had a patient who went swimming at a place like this. Got eaten from the inside out by parasitic amoebas.
They do not produce derelict entertainment such as this on Byzantium.
We got trouble. That's the last of them.
What do you want? Oh, hey, Vicar Max. What are you doing on Monarch? I thought scienticians ain't welcome here.
Haven't you heard? Everyone's welcome here. It's a fucking worker's paradise. But you wouldn't know anything about that, would you? Never worked a day in your miserable life. You're just a parasite, living off my goodwill. Well, guess what? My goodwill's exhausted, along with my temper. This is the guy who told me about the book while we were in prison. I lied about finding a scholar. But I don't care about any of that anymore. I just want to inflict massive amounts of pain on this guy. Yes, that's about the long and short of it. Now, where were we? Oh, that's right. I was about to beat you. Severely.
Wait! I know who can translate the book for you.
It's too late for that. I threw away my life chasing fairy tales. Will punishing you fix any of that? Of course not. But by law, it will make me feel a whole lot better. Okay. Talk, Reggie.
It was stolen from some sort of expert on philosophism. Weird hermit lady on Scylla. My father used to deliver supplies to the mining outpost there. It's true. My father collected some extra bits on the side by diverting some of the supplies to the gal. The way he told it, he thought the book looked valuable, so he took it. Couldn't find any buyers when it turned out to not only be French, but banned as well.
Fine. We've got more important things to do anyway.
Captain, could I have a moment of your time?
I want to thank you for talking some sense into me back there with Cheney. It has been a long time since I gave in to my violent enthusiasm. You're right. I owe you an apology. I've been so obsessed for so long, and even then, you owe me nothing, I know, but thank you.
Uh-huh. You blind, fella? Or can you not see I'm busy? Why is it every sissy pig fucker who strolls into my town expects me to smile and shout awful friendly? Welcome to Fallbrook. Only nugget of paradise in this entire law-forsaken land. Like a void damn advert.
Crude but forthright. I admire that.
Truthfully spoken, I do aim to properly represent my aforementioned nugget of paradise. You know, I ain't heard that one before. Suppose I'll have to work harder to show you just what makes our town shine. But first, I'll need to know what brings you, stranger. Well, I'm half listening. If it's one that don't mind getting dirty, then I sure do. But how am I to know whether you're reliable, if not fully trustworthy? Against my better judgment, I do believe you. There's a Borst factory on up the way, run by a man who calls himself the King. Clive Lundberg, insufferable prick. That aside, it's a business ripe for the plucking. I want it. Clear as that. Stars, I hope so. Clive Lundberg, the self-proclaimed Borst King of Monarch, is swimming in profit and drowning in his ego. He's making the only meal to be had, and you're the soon-to-be handsomely paid son of a bitch who's gonna get it for me. Kill him, run him out, hit him where it hurts. If you got brass knockers, you could shoot your way through the front gate. If you don't fancy getting shot to shit, you can try asking Duncan for a disguise. Might be another way in. Assuming you're courageous enough to trek the sewers. Void if I know. Then I'd say you might care to poison the cysty pigs. Sometimes the simplest solution is... It'll be more than good when you're finished. Maybe... Oh, and if you don't fancy going in guns blazing or crawling through a sewer pipe, see Duncan in the dry goods and sundry building. He ought to have an employee ID in that stash of illicit goods he keeps for select clientele. May luck be with you, since I won't be. How's... Good of you to finally haul your ass over here. I wired for backup weeks ago. Got something that's gonna require special extraction from Cascadia. So you got a brain on them shoulders. Excellent. To extract the gas, you'll need to siphon it from the lab in Cascadia into one of your ship's fuel tanks. Totally safe. Do I look like one of them eggheads? But it's a control... I do like your gumption, but let's not be hasty. To get to the gas, you'll need to navigate through the town, which is overrun by marauders. The lab itself...
I'm a doctor, not a vet. But what's the worst that could happen?
I shall leave the details to you. Now, after you clear the manti nest and reach the storage room, all that's left is to get the gas flowing into the fuel system. The task will require someone with technical skills. Or you could force it through with a plasma overload. Don't recommend that option, though, unless you want to get dead.
Well, I haven't seen the system, but I feel confident saying I can split her asunder.
I'll just bet you can. Men of the cloth never do cease to amaze me. Once you've got our goods, take them to the groundbreaker. Lilia's fencers ought to handle the rest of it. I've marked the coordinates for you to the lab in Cascadia. Use the passcode Antediluvian on the terminal to get in. Best of luck, Fixer.
Remind me never to get on Ms. Malin's bad side.
I'd have a drink with her, though I'd keep one hand on my gun and the other on my bit cartridge.
My dry goods come 75... No rubberneck. Not so fast. My biometric IDs are special goods. Only on offer to special clients. You cotton? She needs it for a job? Well, why didn't you say so? Reckoned you asked her where to best procure one, and she obligingly pointed you my way. Give me a jiffy to break. I mean, calibrate the ID. This goes like that. Nope, not quite right. A bit to the left, mayhaps. That'll do it. For a CMP factory line. Careful. I'm trusting you to guard the... Will that be all?
Well, hello, and welcome to the home of the iconoclasts. I'm Rose. Please, take a pamphlet. In it, you'll find everything you need to know about Graham, his philosophist truths, and the iconoclast way. He wrote it himself, you know. Oh no, I'm so sorry. I keep forgetting we're out. Why, we're the only... No corporations, no shack... Oh, those are just hurdles. We deal with them as they come. You're welcome to stay with us. Oh, sure. Graham's our founder. He taught us how to cut our own path in the wilderness. And I guess some folk have started following Zora's orders. You can think of those two as our leaders, but they're more like examples. We all ought to be more like them. Why, he's our founder. Graham taught us about philosophism. I'm glad you're asking, but... well, she's been with us since the beginning. I think she was our sawbones back then, but now she's more like... She goes and finds people in the wilderness and gets them to come here. And she keeps us from being chewed on and whatnot. She's liable to... Graham's place is in the large building straight back. Thora's sometimes there talking with him, but usually she's in the triage clinic next door. Oh, Graham settled here a long time ago. Shoot, I wasn't around. The new boy! Yes, he's quite clever. He took to our teachings very quickly. Last I saw him, he was headed into one of the buildings up the hill.
Damn philosophists.
You meditate today? If not, you should.
Might be we can melt this.
Never seen you before. Take my advice. Move on. Get off-world if you can. If you can't, get to the bay. I've been halfway around T1. Monarch, they call it now. Been around it twice. Stood at the hot pole and the cold. Nothing on this moon for nobody. A great many things. I'll tell you what. You want to listen to an old man ramble? There might be a job in it for you. I used to run with a squad of mercenaries here. Good folk. A fella named Lamont introduced me. Thing is, I ain't seen them in an age. Stands to reason they got themselves ate. Oh, sure. I was with them when the corps were leaving Monarch. Hell of a time, that. We split ways around the time this twice-fucked moon got abandoned. Thing is, I got myself some fond memories. We had some keepsakes of ours we kept in a lockbox, and I've been thinking about seeing it found. I'll be glad for it, but I ain't... Thereabout. Getting on in years, kid. Appreciate it, kid. I'll mark it.
Looks like I'm not the only new face around here. What do I call you, stranger? Welcome to Amber Heights, Captain. Call me Tucker. You here to join the Iconoclasts? Help us free this world? I am not a little boy. Haven't been one for decades, no matter what my mama wishes. I take it she's still looking for me? Had hoped she'd accept my decision. According to her, stepping foot outside of the house in broad daylight is too dangerous. My entire life, she crammed a fear of danger down my throat. Don't go play with friends. Mantisaurs. I stuck around way too long, ruled by her fears. I'm 42 years old, but she's...
I don't know, Captain. No matter how much of a scene you make, sometimes they just aren't paying attention.
Yeah, see? You get it. She doesn't want to see me as anything other than her baby boy. Why would I go back again? What'll be different this time? You're right. I can do this. I just need to stand my ground and make her see she can't control me anymore. No one can.
It ain't right. How many good folks?
A mantiqueen.
Yeah. We felled it, mind. But we lost 2 runners and 5 gun hands.
A total failure, then. So much for the ruins.
And hell only knows where the Vanoys are. They never showed.
I'm sure they're... let's talk later. It seems we have company. A stranger comes to our home. If you're looking for a path to walk, you've found one. If you're looking for a teacher, I am one. Welcome to the Iconoclasts. But alas, now. A great many things, in fact.
We could always use a hand rounding up supplies.
Or... Now here's an idea. Oh yes, many facilities lie abandoned in the wilderness. Will you aid us in our cause? Wonderful. I requisitioned replacement rollers for it some time ago. Speaking of which, where is Huxley?
You bought rollers? You haven't even cleared the wraps out yet. What are you doing wasting bits on... Wait, where is Huxley?
It seems we're out a runner. If you intend to help our cause, I'll ask you to meet our MSI supplier in her stead. One of our sympathizers. A woman named... Stellar Bay has caught on, but they remain friendly. She meets us in the ruins of Bayside Terrace. From our compound, follow the road north. Wonderful. We can use them to copy and modify...
Unbelievable. I hope I don't have to tell you this, but if there is extra money, would you mind buying, I don't know, food and medicine? Graham, if you need me, I'll be in triage. Hey. What? Sorry.
I'm sorry. As long... All people are part of the Philosophist family. The iconoclasts are free folk. Meanwhile, we seek to... This is not anarchy. Society... Why have...
Did you find them? Tell me you found my my sprat carriers. Just tell me... Sprats can always be replaced. Excellent. Damn it, that hurt like the blazes. Okay, all right. You didn't take it. But someone did. Search Fallbrook. Either half the Sprats got loose on their own, or there'll be some evidence pointing to this. You want your cut? You get me the rest of my drugs. No matter what it takes.
You seen Arthur today?
Just Mini-Malin, get your twitchy whiskers back here! Don't you run out that door! It's a cruel world outside!
You'd think folks were pissing in the alleyways as bad as it stinks.
Oh, they are.
So that peddler stay.
Close the damn door. You'll let my Sprats out. Damn it all. Now look what you done. It'll take me ages to round him up again. State your purpose, or get out of my face, domicile intruder. Missing? Nope. Nope. Mine are all... I've got an animal rescue service to oversee, and it ain't... Day in, day out, they ran their little route, getting picked off along the way. What was I to do, turn a blind eye? Malin's an Look, I don't care if Nilsson sent you or not. You won't be hurting a hair on any of these sprats' heads. I've killed vicious beasts for them. I ain't afraid to take on a human. Back out of this domicile, hands up, or become sprat food, intruder. You want to dig through sprat droppings? Be my guest. Get your drugs, then get lost.
Got the goods? Because I know you wouldn't... You do? I mean, you do! Of course you do! What did I... Sure, they're Raptidon fodder and suffer the occasional overdose. That deranged piece of sprat shit! If Bertrand ain't already dead, he's about to be. I owe you for bringing this breach in security to my attention. As promised, your cut, plus a little extra to show my gratitude. Now, if there's nothing else you need from me, I must go inventory my goods. Hit me. Wow. You're either way, you'll find... Sure it is. Wink. Someone's been killed! I think I'm gonna be sick. I clean the apartments while everyone's at work. If you're going into the apartments, do not go into the lower one on the right. That's where the body is. Now, if you'll...
Captain Hawthorne. Used to be more dashing.
Laws. Can a man and what I am doing? This, I recall days of consumption. Look.
So here's the thing about tossball. Tossball is played from the heart.
Okay. Oh, Captain, you did it! My little boy is back, safe and sound. Tell the Captain how grateful we are, Tuk-Tuk.
Mama, I told you that I'm not staying. I just came back to talk to you about why I left. Then...
Oh, we'll get that silliness sorted out. You're safe here with me. What a sour thing to say. My little boy will always...
Mama, what I need is for you...
Here, kind stranger. This is every bit I've scrimped and scraped for years to save. But it's more than worth it to have my Tuk-Tuk home safe again.
Whatever you do, don't mention it. You'll never hear the end of it. If you've gotten stuck in an hour-long rant about mostly colonists, you'd be thankful.
Velma seem out of sorts to you?
She's always cranky.
If Velma's capable of running the warehouse, she can certainly pick up her own cathanoid.
Don't be so hard on her. With Brax missing, she's working doubles and needs a little edge.
Very well, dearie. But you stop by any time you like, hmm?
Thanks, I'll keep that in mind. Sorry, I've got to get back to the warehouse.
Hello, dearie. Why, I don't believe I've seen... What can Auntie Abigail do for you? And what a helpful young man you are. Nothing like a little pin. Who's your lucky... Orange. I may not be a fresh young thing anymore, but with age comes experience, dearie.
Much as I'd love to. But I'd hate... I'm so sorry, but with the iconoclasts in the... Our reserves have gotten so low, I've even had to start locking the supply room upstairs. Isn't it? I'd make an exception for you if I... Oh, her. It's none of my business, but I have told her Dr. Williams would bump up her monthly allotment if only she'd join MSI. Contribute like the rest of us. Now I've gone and said too much. And you know me, dearie. I don't like to pry. I'm afraid it'll be the better part of a month. Our dear Nyoka tends to exhaust her supply rather quickly. Believe me, there's nothing I'd love better than to help you, but there's not much I can do. Dr. Williams managed the town's allotments from his terminal upstairs. Even I can't access them. Oh, you flatter an old woman. Me, I'm just here to be a pretty face for the... And to keep an extra key to the supply room, for all the times Dr. Williams misplaced his. The one upstairs, where we store our medicines. In the town graveyard, I'm afraid. Poor man was always searching for... It's a philosophist. The graveyard...
You're gonna go tussle with some raptidons? Because I've been practicing my dropkick.
Do be careful. Chin up.
Here's the other thing about tossball. Tossball, it's all about scoring goals.
Scoring goals. Got it. Smells like those old Sundays when we'd unload Saltuna shipments at the cannon.
We gotta go exploring. I want to see some savages.
Feels like the old bits outside of Edgewater. Used up, unneeded, left to settle into ruin.
Exploring some ruins, killing some monsters. All we're missing is theme music. Always wanted to visit Stellar Bay. Taking the sights, the sounds. Wait, what's that smell?
You reckon a smell?
Lived your whole life in Edgewater?
Yeah, until the captain picked me up. I was the town mechanic. Got my own little garage and everything.
Don't know how you did it. If I had to spend every day working on the board's machinery, I would have gone spare.
I don't think I belong, really. Folks tried to treat me nice, but we didn't understand each other.
I'm glad the boss picked you up. Crew wouldn't be the same without you.
Real sweet, Felix. Right back at ya.
Smells like rat in here. Oh, it does work.
Ah, the charmer. All of the above? More or less dangerous than a steady supply of alcohol. Give it here. Whew, that... Great. Where to? Oh, Hiram? I ain't checked in on that man in an age. He's running the giant radio tower we lovingly call Devil's Peak. We'll be going south and west, mostly along the road till we're past Fallbrook. Out there, there's if you're more of a spelunker. That said, 3's already a crowd. I don't mind waiting somewhere until you got a spot open.
A real big...
So, Miyoka, what's the ugliest thing you ever killed?
Sometimes what they're doing on other colonies.
I still have nightmares about this one. Fiercest, most foul creature I've ever faced.
Tossball games?
Just shy of 7 feet tall. Breath like a sulfur pool. A little slow, strong as a mountain.
Everything smells like
If I recall, his name was George, Gregory, I don't know. Some G name. He and a band of pirates tried to ambush me and mine on the trail once.
Wait, you're talking about a person?
Yeah, poor guy. I think my bullets did his face a favor.
Hey, Velma, I got your caffeinoid pills.
You're a lifesaver. Hope Abigail didn't give you a hard time.
Just the usual. Any word on Braxton?
Nothing. You don't know how much longer I can cover for him either. Give me those pills, will you?
Here you go. You know, you might consider a real night's sleep instead. Velma's not so bad.
Look, you can tell Catherine the new shipment will be ready when it's ready, all right? She's welcome to come up here and pack boxes herself if she's in such a hurry. Well, if you're that friendly about it, then you definitely aren't one of Catherine's sublight toughs. My mistake. I hope you can forgive my temper. This job has been running me ragged lately. First, my autoloader foreman stages a walkout, and now my chief pescatological health manager is missing. Braxton. He's in charge of getting the fish fat, but also making sure they don't get too many tumors. He's a real wizard with pharmaceuticals. We're not keen on rules for rules.
These MSI types are living the dream.
Since you don't seem to be constrained yourself, maybe you could check up on him. He lives in the apartments. Tell him Velma said to get his lazy ass down here, or she might start noticing those extra drugs he's been taking from supply. Something else on your mind? Caleb Herrick runs the autoloader operators. He thinks I don't pay them enough for flipping switches and turning dials. He and his whole crew walked out. Because we've got a budget, all right? And in case you haven't noticed, MSI... Not on Monarch. Sanjar throughout the old world. Sure, until your workers start making... You mind slapping him around a little while you're at it? If you can find a way to get him back to work, I'll make it worth your while. Check the yacht club. He's usually there. Stealing such a nasty... And yeah, let's just say I've noticed a sterile bio... We're not like those corporate towns. Besides, the Spacer's Choice stuff we use is cheap and... Unless you're here to tell me he's a... Hard workers? Caleb and his crew have it better than any... I don't have the bits. Besides, if I make an exception for him...
She's principled, in at least this area. I will begrudgingly give her that.
Thank you. If Caleb wants... Fine by me.
I hear those rich people in Brazil can pay a handsome...
How does it feel?
How does what feel?
Serving an instrument of corporate supremacy.
Let me hazard a guess.
New face, huh? You from Off-World? A ship captain? Well, I'll be. Here, let me buy you a drink. Consider it an MSI welcome. Why don't you grab a chair, sit a spell and revel with us? Me and my friends have taken our destiny into our own hands. Well, as long as we don't run out of bits. But until the windfall... I don't see how. When Sanjar, our supervisor Velma, goes on and on about quarterly profits and meeting quotas. But that ain't what Sanjar promised us. We won't go back until... Sure thing. What did you want to discuss? Not for... If I knew that, I'd have tried it. Talking reasonably got me nowhere. Maybe you'll fare better. The others wanted to blackmail her, but we're above that. Besides, them are just rumors. We got no proof they're true. I would never endorse such an untoward tactic, you know, but, well, there's rumors that Velma's taking a cut off the profits. So far it's just gossip, you know, but if there was any proof to be had, it'd be in the Saltuna warehouse, I reckon.
I'd give you a friendlier welcome. Unless you're here to tell me he's agreed to do his job again, I've got nothing to say. If Caleb wants to keep this job, he'd better get back to it. I'm about ready to hire sublight contractors at this rate. Yeah, and did you miss the part where I'm working doubles to cover for everyone who decides not to show?
Ironic, isn't it?
I'm the one who keeps this place running. That money's mine, one way or another. Fine. Tell Caleb he and his team can have their raise, but I need them back here immediately. Something else on your mind?
Why don't you grab a chair? Sure thing. Well, I'll be a Raptidon's dinner. Reckon I ought to listen to gossip more often. Here, take this as compensation. It ain't a lot, but I hope it shows how much we appreciate all you've done. Now me and my friends here better get back to work before Velma blows a fuse.
You know, Vic, you're starchier than a Spectrum potato, but you got a mean left hook, and I respect that.
Thanks, I think. Guess I could give you some pointers.
Yeah? Alright, let's hear it.
Well, most significantly, aside from how you form and angle your fist, is that you cannot just punch with your arm. You must turn your upper body into it to generate any real force.
That sounds real complicated. I think I'll stick with the millstones.
You startled me. Don't sneak up on a person like that, huh? Braxton. I've never even heard of a Braxton. Got nothing for you, sorry. No! Okay, maybe, just a little. Braxton always has a good stash, and I just like to let loose a little. Stop thinking about the Marauders and the Raptidons outside, you know? Oh, damn. He told me he was delivering to this house in the ruins south of town. Whole family had fallen sick and he had some meds on hand. So maybe look for him there?
We're in agreement that this Braxton is probably dead, right?
Crew report. Miyoka is drunk. Surprise.
you ever seen a real-life Saltuna?
What do you mean live? Saltuna comes in cans?
Felix, Saltuna is a kind of...
Well, well. The only new folk I ever see in town are sublight runners from Fallbrook. But you don't look like one of Catherine's. What can I get you? All sales are final.
Could I get another advance, Mr. Nandi?
Just make sure it's properly logged.
I'll note it next to the others, sir.
Well, new... Celia, didn't I tell you our new statistics-based advert?
That you did, sir.
How can yield improvements of 26.7% not quicken the pulse? How can 32% cost...
You've often posed these very...
Clear my schedule. This new... Celia, will you make a note of that for my self-review?
No.
But not so Hiram? Why, he's probably still out at Devil's Peak. But if you're here for him, I suppose that means... Now, there's no need to humor.
Seems like you're having a rough time, Mr. Sanjar. Are you doing quite all right?
Oh, don't worry on my account. This is merely the latest in a long line of professional, erotic, and athletic. I had hoped that livening up our advertisements with enticing figures would draw the other corporations back.
Because he's scared to go it alone. You need the board to hold your hand and tell you everything's gonna be okay. Ain't that right?
Surviving alone isn't as easy as it looks. Thanks to the so-called hazard clause, Monarch has been cut off from the board's resources and protection for 10 years now. We've kept ourselves in business by trading with individual corporations, but given the off-the-books nature of those transactions, such arrangements are precarious. Yes, freedom is a tempting ideal, but a rather...
Can't imagine why you'd sneer at the notion of a free colony. Could it be because you're an agent of the establishment?
I used to be young and idealistic too, but you can't run a city on high-minded ideals.
Well, Mr. Nandi here has a rather ingenious plan to get MSI restored to the board.
On our terms, mind you.
But will that help the people here, Mr. Sanjar? Keep them fed and safe?
That's precisely what I'm trying to do.
And if our advertising scheme hasn't borne fruit, then perhaps it's time we took matters into our own hands.
It's true, our Celia is an alarmingly competent... The plan she refers to is a two-pronged approach, and the first part involves seeing Stellar Bay properly defended. With a Bolt 52 cartridge, of course. If you can get us what we need to rejoin the board, starting the Bolt 52, we'll be able to become one of the most productive and secure cities in Halcyon.
And you'll have a powerful ally on the board.
In the old arms building southwest of town, which used to be part of Stellar Bay before we had to move our walls in, these days it's over... Saying what with? That's just what it's called. It's supposed to stand... Oh, and while you're at it, there should be a terminal in the arms building with some dangerous information. Perhaps you could delete it so it doesn't fall into the wrong hands. What can I do for you? I see. And was his delivery... Well, that's excellent. I'll see that your feedback... What else can I do for you? Then it's good that I keep some... I've asked myself the same thing many times. Not intentionally, though that's technically true. For many years... Really? I always thought they were refreshingly straightforward names.
Here, though, the results were...
And as the other corporations... Our leadership at the time, certain... But there were others of us who saw an opportunity. It's humane, but...
I hope you'd treat them nice, whether it was good business or not, Mr. Sanjar. That's what being a community means. Treating people right, because it's the right thing to do.
Word of advice, Sanjar. If Parvati's got something to say, you do well to listen close.
A noble thought, Miss Holcomb. Unfortunately, noble thoughts rarely sway board policy. Anyway, we learned about creating the perfect environment. That's what I thought. But the senior... Yes, some of us stayed behind. I moved forward with our planned reforms, yet not long after... I don't know. Everything we did was legal and above board.
Your first mistake was expecting the board to cut you a fair deal.
I understand the sentiment, but if we can't rely on some sort of I do think there's something useful in a governing body like the board. Something that keeps us from anarchy, but I dearly wish it functioned differently. Why wouldn't anyone?
Yeah, and once you go back to him, they'll own your dignity too.
To be on the... I fear the MSI... If membership on the board can ease... Besides, I'm hopeful that additional leverage on our...
Don't get ahead of yourself, sir.
Yes, my hope is to maintain the... What can I do for...
Greetings, and welcome to... What can I...
Or is he not paying you on account of how he tried to fix the thing his own self and busted it even worse, and then said you wasn't fixing it fast enough, so he's docking your wages again? Not that I got any prior experience with such.
Not at all. Mr. Nandi treats us all right and pays us well. I just spent most of my paycheck on Raptidon acid. Laws, no. Sometimes it's canid teeth, or a mantis worm wings, whatever Sebastian... So I can talk to him, of course. He doesn't get going about much else.
I reckon she's got a little bit of a squish on this fella.
He's sort of the strong, silent type. Unfortunately, my apartment's kind of filling up with his stuff. And some of the neighbors are complaining about the smell. I couldn't. What if he says no? Hey, maybe you could ask him for me. I mean, a no would still be bad, but it won't be quite as... Oh, Mr. Nandi's doing that. He doesn't talk much, but he's got this quiet intent. Plus, he's got great legs. It's hard to find a man who doesn't skimp on lower body exercises. Sorry, Have you talked to... You know, sending you is the first bright idea I've seen from that man, because I still don't know anything about it. But if you want to help him, Velma's the one to ask. She's in the warehouse. But I'll warn you, Grimm wore her patience thin a long time ago. Oh, have you talked to him? I'd give you a friendlier welcome.
Gosh, this old girl's in a rough way. Even old Bess in Edgewater was in better shape than this.
Hey, you want to try running a cannery with obsolete machinery? You be my guest.
Sorry, ma-
Oh. Anyway. This again? I swear, this is the last time I contract for any special requests. You can tell Grimm his poster came in. You can also tell him I got a better offer for it. So now it's going to Nell. That about cover it? No. I paid Sublight for it. So it's mine. And when Nell pays me for it, it'll be hers. Grimm may have asked for the poster, but it's not his until I take his money. It's staying locked up in my office until Nell shows with her money. She runs the betting parlor across the way. Nice professional lady. She asked me about the poster once. Damn right it is. Sure can. If you want to pay me more than Nell's offering. Sure. And once you finish helping me, then we can talk about the poster. Fine by me. Sure can. Sure.
Velma seem out of sorts to you?
ruins? Huh, it's just like in the serials.
Incoming! Down they go!
Nice hit!
Woo! Nice work!
A visitor? What an...
We're armed to the teeth? What's he gonna do? Kill us with generosity?
That's the spirit. I'm afraid we don't get many visitors out here. The Raptidons... And if you've braved them, you must be exhausted. Why don't you stay for dinner? I'm sure I would... Now, quit fretting yourself about that.
I think I just lost my appetite.
You must be famished. Is it sticking again? I'm afraid nothing out here works the way it used to. There's a bit of a trick to jimmying it open. I'll see to it once we've finished dinner. I do appreciate...
Oh, hello. Sorry, I'm not real good with,
No, there's no call for being rude, Captain.
You got a funny way of putting things, but it feels like there's this fog.
That's nice of you. I usually...
Hey, what are you doing in my room? Liar! You're trying to steal the last of my rocket candies, aren't you? The ones that come in a bottle with a rocket ship on it. Like the other man used to bring. I'm not telling you. Spacer's choice pills, they cure all your ills. Spacer's choice pills, they cure all your ills.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna have nightmares about this.
I'm gonna be sick.
But what's this? You're tracking blood into the kitchen. Oh dear. You've been nosy, haven't you?
Quickly, my dear. He's getting agitated. We can't let the meat spoil.
Don't worry. We'll make this quick.
Explain this to folks. Everybody with missing family will wonder if these people.
Carry on.
I'd give you a friendlier welcome, but that he's got his load on and I'm stuck covering his shift? That's Wow. I sure feel like an ass now. Yeah, I wouldn't wish that on Catherine herself. Still, it's good to know what happened to him. And that I ought to start looking for a replacement. Something else on your mind? Sure can. If you want to pay me more than Nell's offering. Fair enough. The damn thing's been a headache anyway. Take the poster then. And if I never hear another word about it, it'll be too soon.
Smells like rat.
Have you had time to check on that poster yet? I keep wondering if it's come in. Would you look at that? The Rizzo's logo is nice and bright, and you can still smell the ink on Mr. Holcomb's signature. I can't thank you enough. Still, you can have the bits I was going to spend at the bar this week. And you know what? Take my old tossball blocker, too. Never get the chance to use it these days.